Smash Up, the shuffle building game of total awesomeness. This is a card game where players create quite improbable teams by putting together different types of characters, and what comes out are teams such as the Dino Ninja, the Dinosaur Ninjas, or the Ghost Plants, or the Robo Pirates. And once you have your improbable faction, you send it against the equally improbable factions of the opponents. Several sets have come out. This is the base set, and today I'm going to review an expansion that came out recently, the science fiction double feature expansion, which features several bases, several location cards, and 4 factions. I'm not going to tell about the basic mechanics of Smash Up. You can find about those in my video for the main set. Today we're going to talk about the stuff that is in the new set, which can be played as an independent set if you only have 2 players, or you can add it to the main set or to other expansions. You can combine it with other cards to be able to play it with multiple players. But for 2 players, the set alone is enough. You have the rule book, of course, which tells you all that you need to know to play the game. So it is not just about this set, it is about the game in general. You have the box, which is empty because I already placed the cards of the new set together with the cards from the previous set. But I did keep them separate so I can show you the new stuff. In the new set we find several locations. The theme here is science fiction. But not only, mainly science fiction. What are the locations? Well, let me show at least some of them. The Nexus, the winner replaces this base with a base of his or her choice from the base discard pile if possible. Sort of like a time traveling idea. You bring back a base. And time traveling is one of the themes of this set. The winner takes an extra turn after the current turn ends, so the second location is better in terms of points, but you have that advantage if you are the first player. Winner may look at the top 3 cards of his or her deck and return them in any order. Primate Park, the winner may replace his or an action played or on minions here back into his or her hand. These abilities, as you will see, relate to some of the teams that are in this set. For example, this is related to one of the teams that you have here, which is Spies, which can indeed manipulate decks. This is related to one of the teams, one of the factions, that of the monkeys, which are able to manipulate where actions go. Then we have the Vats. You may not play a minion here that has the same name as another minion. Faceless City. Once per turn, after you play a minion here, search your deck for a copy of that minion, reveal it, and place it into your hand. Then you shuffle your deck. And we have the Monkey Lab. Minions here get +1 power for each action played on them. And as you will see, indeed, monkeys have things that the build up that give them advantages based on actions played on them. Well, since we're talking about them, I'm going to show you the monkeys, which are one of my favorite factions in this set here. Talking about the minions, Clyde. If your actions played on minions here go to a discard pile, you may place them into your hand instead. I was just telling you about manipulating actions. Shielding, this is an action that protects your character from effects from other players. This guy here allows you to draw an additional card at the end of your turn. Very good, especially if you can shield him and get him on a base that is not going to be scored too soon, so I can give you that advantage for a long time. And it's even better if you combine that with the Flying Monkey, which allows you play it on a minion, and after the base scores, you may move the minion to another base instead of the discard pile. Very nice card. Back to the minions. Furious George has +1 power for each action played on him. And then you have actions that give them more power. Of course, that combines nicely with the power that the guy has already. This guy allows you to play an extra action when you play him. More cards, more actions that give you extra power. Oh, this is a really neat one. Allows you to destroy another player's minion with power 4 or less. This is the heavy hitter of this set. You may play actions onto these minions from the discard pile instead of from your hand. It's also very powerful. This is really a nice guy. Again, somebody who would be good if shielded. Well, but good anyways, particularly good if you can shield him. Then we have another team that I like a lot, and I like it when combined with the monkeys, is the Spies. Yes, the James Bond kind of character. There's also a card that clearly is James Bond. They just don't mention it, they just don't name him explicitly James Bond. Everybody who has eyes to look can see that, but at least I guess they don't have to worry about copyright problems. This Spy here is the mole that allows you to play a normal action as a special action before this base scores. Usually you can play only special actions when a base is scored, not in this case. The operative, reveal the top card of each player's stack, and then you place any of those cards to the bottom of the owner's deck, and the other ones can go on the top. And this is something that the Spies do often. They manipulate decks, your own or other players' decks. Well, what was I just saying? Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you place them in any order. This is an action. These are special actions which are super awesome. I'll tell you about them in a bit. First, more about the characters. Yes, this is James Bond, but just a normal general secret agent. After another player plays an action, he or she must discard a card. If you can keep him in play for a while, this drains the resources of your opponents nicely. And then the Spies have a ton of this guy here. The General Spy, not very powerful, and with a power as he enters play, which is not bad, but not anything to write home about either. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck and you place them in any order. And then you have actions. So this is a nice one. Draw 3 cards, discard 2. Again, manipulation of decks. But as for the special ones, these are fantastic. If you play them well, this may win you a base and may win you a game, which actually they did in one of my recent games. This one, play before a base scores as a special action. Choose a minion there with a power of 4 or less. You control that minion till the end of the turn. This one allows you as a special to destroy a minion of power or 3 in the base that is scoring. This can entirely change the balance of power in a base, completely change the scoring. Play them well, play them at the right time, and these 2 cards are extremely powerful. Then we have 2 factions, which I like potentially. I just don't like them too much in the, how can I say it, in the execution. They're a little messy. Well, they are the shapeshifters, so you already know that it's going to be about replacing cards with other cards, and the other ones is the time traveling, so you already know that again it's going to be about redoing things, taking cards from one location and bringing them back to the present. Let's talk about the shapeshifters now. Actions for the shapeshifters. Even pronouncing that name of the faction is annoying. Destroy one of your minions, play an extra minion from your discard pile with the same power. Just replace the guy. Oh, look at the reference. Play on a minion, choose an action on a minion, and this card has the ability of the chosen action. So sometimes on top of replacing a shapeshifter with another shapeshifter, what you can do is to copy abilities of other characters, and actually that is nice. Destroy one of your minions, search your deck for a minion with the same power or lower, and you play it as an extra minion. This is the kind of stuff that I don't like too much about this deck. There are several things that will make you shuffle the deck, search your discard pile, shuffle it again. If you do it once or twice, it's okay, but if you do it almost every turn, it gets a little annoying. It slows down the game. The smash up is supposed to be a fun, quick romp, and if it loses its tempo, I think it gets a little less fun. This minion's power is equal to the highest power printed on a minion card in play. This can be very good. Destroy a minion. That minion's owner may immediately play an extra one. Choose your minion in play. Play a copy of that card from your hand as an extra minion. Copy an ability of a character that is in play. Each extra of your minion gets +1 power, or one of them gets +3. This minion can be destroyed. It's good general protection. The Gelf, is that how it's pronounced? Gelf. Search your deck for a non-Gelf minion, power 4, shuffle the minion into your deck, shuffle more, and etc. This is the big guy in this deck. When this minion goes to a discard pile from a base, search your deck for a minion and play it as an extra minion, etc, etc. This is the general idea. Copy stuff, replace stuff. Shift your shape. Time Travelers. Actions. This one, do-over. Return your minion from a base to your hand. You may play it again as an extra minion. Things come back into play when you travel in time. Action, play on a base. The base cannot score, but which is good to delay the scoring of a base if you don't want that to happen. Shuffle all action or all minions from your discard pile into your deck. Ongoing, when this minion goes to the discard pile, you may place it back into your hand, and this is cool to have. Place an action from your discard pile on top of your deck. So as you can see, they recycle stuff a lot. Place a card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. Yes, the discard pile, when they start messing with the discard pile, they can get a little bit annoying. Return a card in play to its owner's hand. They can do that to you too. Play after a base scores, shuffle your minions there into your deck instead of placing them into a discard pile. More shuffling. Dr. Wen. Okay, this is a fun idea. Dr. Wen, I like that. You may return another of your minions in play to your hand. You may play it against an extra minion. Time is fleeting. Play after a base scores if there is a base in the discard pile. Add a base of your choice from the discard pile instead of drawing a new base from the deck. And, well, this is pretty much, these are the main things. Time Walk. You may play an extra minion and an extra action this turn. Draw 2 cards. Place this card at the bottom of your deck instead of your discard pile. So, these are the new factions. These are new factions. These are the new things. Smash Up Science Fiction Double Feature. How is it? How does it play? Actually, I haven't played it by itself, not as a two-player game. I played the factions by mixing them and matching them with other factions. I like the monkeys very much. I like the spies very much. I don't mind these guys too much. I'm not a fan of these guys here. Just because of the way, as I said, in which just shuffling and changing things around can become annoying. Yes, again, Smash Up is supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be chaotic. There are players that enjoy exploiting the designs, looking for loopholes or for power engines in the mechanics of the game. With Smash Up, they will always be able to do that. If they're playing with these cards, then it's like the deck is begging for trouble. That is, that kind of player will find even more ways of creating powerful combos that get to the point of being, I wouldn't say too powerful, because that sounds like I'm whining. I don't want him to be too powerful. They get unwieldy, they get clunky. I play a card, the player plays a card, then plays another card, replaces a card, shuffles the deck, brings back a card, that does... It just slows down the game. The effects that these characters do are not only powerful, but I think that they make the rhythm of the game become a little less interesting. And also, they open the possibility of mistakes. When players that play with these cards are doing the crazy combos, it's impossible to follow. At least I don't have the patience to follow. I just let them go. 5 minutes later, you're done with your turn, and if they're done, well, that's fine. A mistake occurred in the meanwhile. I have no idea that happened. The locations are fun. Nothing wrong about them. It's an overall set that has its merits, and I don't love all of the factions the way in which I loved most, if not all, of the previous factions. I personally would purchase it just for the monkeys and the spies, which are just real fun to play and combine with one another, or to combine them with other factions. These ones, I don't feel that I need them too much. I will try to discourage players from using them, at least. These guys, maybe I'll just forget to bring them to the next game event. I'll just bring every other faction. I'm being too harsh here. I'm sure that there are players that will have a lot of fun with these characters. They're just not for me. So to me, this set overall is not bad / good set, not a great one. Half or most of it is really good. It could be better, but there's also a subjective component here. There are indeed players who like to exploit the designs that may find these characters preferable to more linear ones.